Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is in your neck of the world, neck of the country. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. I'm doing an unboxing. It's strictly just an unboxing. I haven't opened this. I'm going to open it now. So people like to do it, like to see unboxings, so that's what I'm doing. And I'll tell you a little bit about the stove as I go. This is a stove. It's called the Woods Walker. We'll see that in a minute. And pick the box up and show it to you. You can see that. Woods Walker is the name of it. Comes under different names. I'm sure it's private labeled under different heads, different names, but I'm going to go ahead and unbox it. I've not cut it open at all. One guy did one. He said he'd already cut it open and made everything else, so he knew what he was dealing with. I'm just going blind here, just based on videos and stuff. So let's get it going. I'll tell you a little bit of the story behind it. I look at all kinds of stoves and things. Stainless steel is your best bet for heavy duty, and long-term lasting. But the lightest is titanium by far. Your lightest stove is always going to be titanium, and titanium also spreads heat. I learned long ago in welding that you don't weld on one end of the titanium thing and touch the other end, because the heat will transfer all the way across. So it has very good heat transfer. Okay, it looks like it's packaged good. It's in a styrofoam casing. I'm going to try to get it out of here without dumping everything all over. Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't know if it could slide out or if it was totally encased. I said it looked like it is. Yep, it is. Okay. So very well packaged, very well for shipping. A good heavy box. And when I look at things from the viewpoint of what is the best one out there, because I don't like to deal with things that are going to fall apart, things that don't set up well, things that are unstable or dangerous or junky, that aren't going to last a long time. I want to buy the best, forget the rest. So I looked at a bunch of I was just looking at titanium stoves, how they started out, and I got to the point where I just went, well, this one's really good. I like this one. I like this about it. I like this about it. I like this about it. And I wrote to the people and I said, hey, you got a really good stove there. And the guy, I believe his name is William, probably the designer, I'm not sure, wrote me back and said, well, we'll send you one if you'll do videos on it, and put links to our eBay store. So I said, okay, I'd do that, sure. So this is a side rack for putting things on. And this kind of thing, it takes a little bit of time to figure out how to get it open. Got a pair of scissors back there. Maybe I should grab those. Where are they? Got them. I'm using a serrated blade knife. It's a little bit quicker to use scissors. Sometimes people overpackage things and they wrap it once, they wrap it twice, wrap it 3 times. By the time I cut it open, I've cut cords or something, or slit the thing and put a hole in the thing that's supposed to be waterproof. So I don't like things to be overpackaged, but this is not a problem here. I just want to get it out. So some of this stove is going to be stainless steel, so that's what you want. This is a rack for drying and warming things, warming tray rack. Okay, now where are my glasses? Don't tell me I don't have my glasses. Don't tell me I don't have my glasses. I have to have my glasses. I see it here. Hang on. Okay, back at it. Okay, so rolling up chimney. I'm not going to go into the chimney part here. I'm not even going to try to do that now because it takes too much room that I have, more room than I have here. There's ways to do it better than others. And if you're not familiar with what I'm meaning, it's a one-piece chimney. You have the damper at the bottom, a damper attachment that goes into the stove. We'll show you that in a minute, and then a spark arrestor at the top. And I'm hoping that it has a better damper than what I first saw in one of the videos. So what you do is it's a titanium stovepipe. You roll it out, and then you roll it out lengthwise, and then you roll it out sideways. And it's kind of, I'm not even going to try to explain it. Well, you can watch other videos. This is the stovepipe and some of the other parts. So I got to open this to get to probably the damper and whatnot in here, I'm thinking. Yeah, it sounds like there's crinkly dinklies in there. Let's see if I can get that off. Yep. Okay. Oh, come on. One little piece of tape. Now, get the plug out. So there's a spark arrestor and titanium stovepipe and the fitting that it goes into, and something else is in there. Damper, cable, clips for the stovepipe. Okay, so, and the bag is wrapped up in here, very weird. That's kind of strange. I kind of envisioned the bag, it being in the bag when it came in the box, but no. Carry bag, or storage bag. So there's the, oh, it's got the damper I was hoping it didn't have. Oy vey, oh well. There's your damper. Slides in here. I'm thinking you'd have to have a really good or a pair of gloves on. I wouldn't want to handle that too much. It doesn't fit all the way against the flush end, against the far end of it. So it's going to act as a partial damper. It's not great. It's not going to lock it down tight for evening burn. Not that it's ever going to do that. So, let me get back up here. Nylon carrying case there. Woods walker. Okay, that's not good. The zipper is caught in something. There we go. Empty tube. I'm going to put the pipe back in there. A couple wrenches here. Oh. Stakes. And the stakes are not for the tent. It's not a tent here. It's a stove. The stakes are for the guidelines for the antenna, for the stovepipe to keep it from blowing in the wind. Okay, so that 3 guidelines attached to these 3 rings here at the top. And then you go out, you guy them out and anchor them down to the ground, stake them down. And this is a spark rest. So the idea is that this gets hot, and then any sparks that come out hit the hot metal and they burn out. They attach to it and keep it from starting a fire in the leaves or twigs or grass around your campsite. Use some drink here in a minute. I also kind of hoped it would be 2.36 inch like all the other camp stoves, but this is 3 inch. It says 3 inch and it looks like it's 3 inch or better. Okay, and then there's I think 11 rings here for sliding down and holding the stovepipe in place. I'm not going to go into that yet, like I said. Not at this point in time. Not applicable. Oh yeah, I thought there'd be a wrench here. This is to put the stovepipe on this. This anchors into the stove. You put it on there and then you tighten it down to hold it in place. I don't know if you can see that, yeah. So again, I'm not going to mess with it right now. I thought I had a big thumb screw, but it's not. So you have to get that on there before you lit it up because it'll be awful hot afterwards. Okay, and then 3 guy ropes for the antenna slash, just kidding, stovepipe. Chimney cover connector. And of course this is also a rain cap. Doubles as rain cap and spark arrestor. Fastener for that. Pipe, metal rings, carry bag, rack, dry basket. Where's the dry basket? The one thing I really liked about the stove is that it had a basket on that sits up on top of it for drying wood and for putting hot stones in and for doing like a sweat lodge type thing. That's really cool. I really like that. I like that one a lot. There's 2 features I really liked about the stove. That was one. I mean, it came with that. Comes with that. Let me get it out here. Let's see what we're talking about. Come on. One end open? No, this end open. Yeah. Very well made stainless steel thing with 2 handles on it. And the bottom just flips down when you open it up. Boom. And then it locks in place. 2 little loops on the end of the wire that theoretically lock it in place. They're too tight, way too tight. That ain't gonna happen without some help there. Or does it fit inside of it maybe? It fit inside, okay. So that they work, okay. I don't want to pick it up with full of stones, hot stones, but so it's a drying basket that sits on top of the stove by the chimney to dry your kindling wood for the next morning or whatever. Okay, something else in here, I don't know what it is. The top, yeah. Come on. I know my voice is not great. I apologize for what it's worth. And now in our for what it's worth department, as Paul Harvey used to say. Still rolling, okay. Yeah, I could have streamlined this by doing this all ahead of time, but I just wanted to do an actual real unboxing where I'm dealing with the same things you're going to have to deal with. And maybe I can save you some time or a broken part or something by doing it. Okay, here's a label that's on here. It's going to burn off, or you're going to peel it off. Please do first burn it home before trip. This step helps set the pipe into place. Also helps remove metal grease. I don't think there's too much metal grease on this. It'd be from a break or a punch or a plasma cut or something. I don't think there'd be too much grease on it, but the thing that it does do is it sets memory to the pipe. Okay. Now they do have some stabilization, some strengthening here, some ribs, 2 ribs. That keeps it from warping. Would help it prevent warpings to some degree. Okay, so here's where you need to see where this goes in. This is the opening. And so this has four little, one guy called them shoe looking things, protrusions, so you put those in there. Make sure it's down, all four are down, and then you turn it counterclockwise one partial turn, and that locks it in. And then that collar goes over that to hold the stovepipe in place once it's on. So you put this on here. Once the stovepipe's on there, I'm not going to do that, like I said. So I'm not even sure that's okay. So that's how that goes on. Pretty stable. I like that. I would get a nut wrench for that thing so you can do it quicker and more stable and tighter. And then the damper, you want to have that whichever way you want the damper. So I can take this off. I would probably put the damper to the right since I'm right-handed. I'll put this back in here like that. Come on. You definitely do not want the damper, handling the damper over the hottest part of the stove. The hottest part of your stove is going to be right here. Okay, so you don't want it there. So I'm going to put it to the outside so I can handle it from with the least part of my hand over the stove as possible. And that would be here or back here, but you don't want to have to walk around behind the stove to dampen it, so I want to put it there. I'd put a holder on that, a chain or something, in case you drop it. Okay, so next, we're going to set the stove up itself. Get that going, get the scissors out of the way so I don't cut my bedding. Still rolling. Come on. If I run out of film or time or battery or something, I'll just do a second part. Okay, so these are the legs. This is one of the best features about this stove is the legs turn out from the side, not the front or the back, not to the front and back. And that to me is huge because I have a stove that goes legs to the front and back, and man, you get that thing full of wood and you push one piece of wood in there, boom, it rocks over, slams down, your burning wood is all over the floor, not good. So I don't like that at all. Little piece of foam there over the viewport. So the way you do this one is you flip these up, boom, boom, pretty simple, boom, and boom, you just lock it in place. There's little holes, and then you just slide these little locking arms into that little hole. That locks it in place. Okay. I'm thinking just for make use of the instructions. Book with it. Put that on and see exactly what's happening there. See, that's going over. Keep it out. I pushed it and that was what made it go over. Okay, the rack. I'm going to put the top on. So the pipe goes to the back, not the front of the door. And the door is that side, so you want this to the back. So this goes on like that. And the same deal, there's little locking arms that come in and you got to get it down first. Oh. Duh. does help to be able to see what you're doing, otherwise you're not going to get it on there. Okay, now let me turn it around so that you can see. It's got visible glass on the side and the front. And that is huge because it gives you light, and it's just the ambiance of the flames at night. You know, we call it redneck TV around here. The other night when the cabin was about 100 degrees in there, but Bill just had the door open, just not even looking through the glass, just looking at the flames through the open door, you know, redneck TV. So it's very calming, very peaceful, very nice, and also gives you just a little bit of light. Now the windows could be a little bit bigger, I think. I've seen other ones with bigger windows, but that's okay. And then the rack, oh, I got on the wrong side now for the rack, doggone. Fiddly-dee, Millie. I gotta turn it around again. Swap ends. Should have a big piece of cardboard in here or something. Okay, like I said, drying rack or whatever you want to call it. Nice, good sized tabs there. This lifts up and sits in a little channel down below, so that's very stable. Very stable. And then the rack, the drying rack, stone rack, wood rack, whatever you want to call it, sits up here. So there you go. There you have it. That's the whole stove. Other than the stovepipe, and I'm not going to even try to do that now. I would like to just find stovepipe that fits on it, the real stovepipe. Although it would have to be supported by its weight, because this is a very light stove and it's not going to take a lot of weight. So I probably will eventually do the stovepipe correctly, because it's just not something that I was up for doing right now today, and I don't have the room to do it in here. You got to lay it out. One guy counter rolls it. You can watch videos on it, but one guy unrolls it and re-rolls it backwards, so it lessens the tension. Then when he rolls it out, it'll actually stay out flat. Then you have to roll it lengthwise, like around a broom handle. One guy uses pool noodles, which I think is ideal. And one guy just touches and does it diagonally, starts rolling, and then just plays it back and forth until he gets it straightened out. You practice, do it like roll up a sheet of paper, you know, roll it tight diagonally, and then play with it going back and forth until you get it to where it's just a cylinder, like a blowgun, capable of blowing a dart out of it or something. So that's what you want to do. So there it is. That's the deal. I'll have the link for the channel down below for the eBay store. It's Honey Home Health, and I'll put a link for it below in the description. Super stove, I love it. Very light. The idea of this is, you know, it's a lightweight stove for hot tent and for backpacking. You can put this in a backpack and no problem. Put it on a sled, whatever. Put it on a cart and take it with you and have good warmth and cooking capability. So boil the water on it, whatever. So it's got a little slot here for air and for ash dumping, I guess. Very interesting. There's a slot at the bottom of the door, just inside, which would allow for airflow. And then the damper is supposed to, okay, it slides, yeah. Interesting, the handle swings, but it slides back and forth to dampen it down. Now, if you wanted to totally dampen it at night, cut it down, you'd have to cover that little slot there somehow. And it's inside of a little channel. That's where the legs sit up in there. I bet you the other one's the other end too. I wonder. Not a stove you're going to damp down at night. Yep. Okay, more later. I'll do another video on it later. I'll try to get the stovepipe out and then fire it up one of these days. I want to get a tent set up so I can put in it, but I need a stove jack, a tent with a stove jack to put it out, and then to heat it up, warm it up, you know. So I'm hoping to get an ice fishing shelter, because they're made for cold weather. They're insulated very well. Yeah, they have good insulation in them. You can warm it in the winter and cool it in the summer with an air conditioner. I already saw a guy, Steve Willis, I think, is his YouTube channel. I'll try to put a link for that. That's the first idea I had of that. A friend of mine sent me a video on it months and months ago, and I looked at it and filed it away. You know, like, okay, tents, ice fishing tents are meant to stay warm. You can have a stove in them, but they're insulated really well. Well, it doubles for the summer. This guy took it out in the middle of summer and put an air conditioner in it and cooled it down about 20 or 30 degrees cooler than outside. So the ice fishing shelter would be a good year-round tent, four-season tent. My interest is in four-season tents because if you can't survive winter, you're not going to make it. If you can't survive summer, you're not going to make it. So a ice shelter tent